I mean, this, Nigel, is fascinating. I know we're sometimes sceptical about AI and the benefits of this sort of algorithm use and what have you. But actually, when it's got a real-life impact like this, that's huge.
Look, that's good. I mean, what he's talking about there, if it actually helps old people not sort of to get quite severe injuries, that's great. There's something about it that makes me feel uncomfortable.
Why?
Well, because what it's doing is it's predicting your behaviour, and you begin to wonder where AI will go. I mean, does that mean that AI will be able to predict whether, if you carry on in a certain direction, you might get divorced, or you won't get on in your career? Or even worse.
Except what that is using for its drivers for the prediction is physiological. It's whether you've had enough sleep, it's whether you've eaten enough, hydrated enough.
Yeah,
so it's physiological rather than psychological.
Yes, it's taking all those factors into account. I'm just suggesting that as this develops, you take other factors into account, and then we get to the point about what if it predicts that you will commit a crime, and where does the state step in to stop you doing that?
Minority Report.
I was going to say, we've got a little bit Minority Report on it. I think this is great, and it shows that AI has a real benefit in the healthcare industry. It's still being input by a human being. It's being input by a carer, who is the person closest to that older person or vulnerable person at the time. So I think it's great that you can predict if somebody is going to be more prone to a fall. That hydration levels are so important in older people, especially in dementia
But if a carer has to input that information, why isn't a carer just thinking, I'll flag this up to the GP anyway?
Because they're probably looking after so many other people at the same time, and they're not just looking after one. And you can't, with the best will in the world, if they are looking after...
Isn't that dehumanising?
No, I don't think
it's all those things that make me a bit jittery about it. Yeah,
I think it provides a much more tailored plan to that individual. Rather than treating all dementia patients in a certain way, you are now tailoring it to an individual and their circumstances.
See, I dread the idea of going to the GP, or the GP coming to me if I were very old, and them saying, well, you're a bit dehydrated on Monday, and we think blah, 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 Tuesday, and you should really do something about...
No, but that's good.
I don't like that.
Yeah, Saturday you're going to fall down the stairs.
Because I have that now. That happens to me now, with more my glucose levels just appear on here. They're just transmitted to this. This transmits them to my specialist. At any point, they can log in and go, yes, you did this yesterday, and this happened. It's brilliant in terms of diagnostics and
But that's not AI, is it?
No, this is AI.
Just monitoring your diabetes.
But there are AI elements within that, then looking at things like HbA1c and what have you.
OK.
Yeah, so it's putting it all together, isn't it, for you?
So it's incredibly useful.
I guess most of us aren't used to that, and so I feel a bit distrustful.
No, it's brilliant. I love it. I'll tell you what I do find confusing about AI, and that is when I'm not working, that's what I use to say yes, being a northerner. Aye. Don't say yes at home, it's just aye all the time. So maybe I should set up my own school.
I think you probably should. Keighley Library has a very handy class on a Friday morning, and it's how to speak Yorkshire.
Oh, Yorkshire, right.
And so there are so many different classes, Knit and Natter, the chess club that go on, but the most oversubscribed club is how to speak Yorkshire. And it's a fascinating look into why dialects are so important, why cultural relevance to them is so important. And one of the best phrases that we had is, the words in West Yorkshire, few words are more than 2 syllables, because they had to be pithy enough to be yelled across a mine.
Yes, of course.
And that's... I mean, I find language really, really fascinating, and I would have studied this at university if they had the course at the time. I love linguistics and how language is made up and why people speak the way they do. And I just think this is great, and if it's bringing people closer to their own heritage in their own town, but also then educating them around why these words have come into existence, all the better.
Absolutely.
All the better.
We are out of time. Nigel, Claire,
but it's been a joy. Thank you.
It has been a joy. Siddy.
Ah, Siddy.
Let's have a look at the weather.
I hope.